The blessed personalities, the blessed personalities, the blessed personalities, the blessed personalities.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. It is stated in Sunnah at-Tirmizi, hadith number 484. Now, the grading of this hadith mubarakah is Hasan. Hasan meaning that it is a high level ranked hadith, meaning that it is fair and a trustworthy hadith. An Ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, that it is narrated from Ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, قال أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال, indeed Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam has said, أولى الناس بي يوم القيامة, that the closest to me on the day of judgment, أكثرهم علي صلاة, will be the one who recites the most durood upon me in abundance. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. Now, from this hadith mubarakah, we learn that the person closest to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam on the day of judgment will be he who recites durood in abundance. Now, the ulama have said a person who recites durood 313 times will be considered amongst those who have recited in akthar amount, meaning in abundance. Let us all make the intention to recite durood sharif in abundance daily. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, the month of Safarul Muzaffar has arrived. In other words, the month of Sayyidi Ala Hadrat has arrived. Now, many of us, we may have heard the name Ahmad Raza before, whether that was through the bayanat of Dawat Islami, or whether that may be through the general conversation that may occur. But how much do we actually know about this person who goes by the name of Ahmad Raza and has the title of Ala Hadrat? Now, Sayyidi Ala Hadrat was born on the 10th of Shawwalul Mukarram on a Saturday in the year 1274 after Hijri. If we look at it according to the English calendar, that is the 14th of June in the year 1856. He was born in Bareilly, which is situated in the country of India. Now, the Urs of Sayyidi Ala Hadrat is celebrated in the month of Safarul Muzaffar. The scholars have said that the best way, or one of the best ways, to commemorate the life of the awliya Allah is by looking into their biography. When we look into the biography of the awliya Allah, we come to realize and we come to learn about their lifestyle. We can take so many Madani pool from their lifestyle. Now, it is stated in the biography of Sayyidi Ala Hadrat that when he was at the age of just 4.5 years old, he completed the entire recitation of the Holy Quran. What a great accomplishment by a child who was just 4.5 years old. Now, when we look further into the biography of Sayyidi Ala Hadrat, we come to know that when he was at the age of just 6 years old, he delivered a very good speech in front of a really big crowd on the topic of Miladun Nabi. Not only was there a huge crowd present, but there was also really big scholars of that time and also of the area. However, Sayyidi Ala Hadrat was not nervous when delivering this speech. He delivered it with great confidence, and the speech was so good that it was appraised by the people of the area, and it was also appraised by the scholars. Now, when we look further into the life of Sayyidi Ala Hadrat, we come to know that when Sayyidi Ala Hadrat was just a young child, a teacher would come to teach Sayyidi Ala Hadrat. He would come every single day to teach him about the Quran Pak and how to read the Quran Pak. So when the teacher would come, he would tell Sayyidi Ala Hazrat to repeat after him. To repeat after him so that he could pronounce the particular word with a particular type of pronunciation. Because in the Arabic language, we have such words, it is such a delicate language that if a word is pronounced incorrectly, then the meaning of that word will also be altered. So when the teacher was telling Sayyidi Ala Hazrat to read the particular word with a particular type of pronunciation, Sayyidi Ala Hazrat was reading it a little different to the way his teacher was reading it. The teacher was pronouncing it with a zabar. However, Sayyidi Ala Hazrat kept pronouncing it with a zair. This happened repeatedly. When his grandfather came to know about this, he instructed one of the students to bring a copy of the Holy Quran so that he may open it and he may look inside. He may look inside and he may look at that particular word so that he could see how it was actually pronounced. When he looked at that particular word, he realized that the scribe had made a mistake. So meaning that Sayyidi Ala Hazrat was correct. The teacher and both Sayyidi Ala Hazrat's grandfather were shocked. And they asked Sayyidi Ala Hazrat, "Oh Ahmad Raza, how come you was pronouncing it with a zair when your teacher kept telling you to pronounce it with a zabar?" Sayyidi Ala Hazrat humbly replied, "Oh my grandfather, I tried to pronounce it the way that my Ustad kept telling me to pronounce it. However, I could not pronounce it the way the Ustad was telling me because I had no control over my tongue." Now, when we look deeper into the life of Sayyidi Ala Hazrat, we come to know that he had a teacher who would come to teach him the beginning books of different sciences. Now, when the teacher would come to teach Sayyidi Ala Hazrat, he would take time to prepare. He would take time to deliver the lesson. He would take time, and it would take him quite a while teaching the students to teach Sayyidi Ala Hazrat about these different various topics and the different meanings of these various topics. Now, after the teacher had done delivering the lesson, Sayyidi Ala Hazrat would go back to his place. He would open the book. He would look at the sabak. He would glance at it maybe once or twice. Then he would close the book. He would go back to his teacher and he would recite the same lesson that the teacher had taught him, word for word. Now, this was a common occurrence. It happened quite a few times. And the teacher began to get shocked. He was like, "I come all the time and I spend so much time preparing this lesson. I spend so much time in delivering this lesson, but there's this student and he goes back to his place and he looks at the sabak maybe once, maybe twice. He closes his book and he comes back and he recites the exact same lesson word for word." Now, the teacher called Sayyidi Ala Hazrat. He said, "Oh Ahmad Raza, tell me, are you a human or are you a jinn?" Sayyidi Ala Hazrat humbly replied, "Oh my great Ustad, I am a human. However, Alhamdulillah, I have been blessed with the bounties of Allah Azza wa Jal and have been given a great memory." Sallu ala al-Habib, sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Now, as time passed on, Sayyidi Ala Hazrat was growing a little bit older. He was reaching his teenage years. So when Sayyidi Ala Hazrat reached the age of just 13 years old, he had completed his Islamic studies course. So after completion of his Islamic studies course, he was given his first question. He was told by his father, Maulana Naqi Ali Khan, rahmatullahi ta'ala alayh, that he would like him to answer this question, to provide the answer to this fatwa. So at the age of just 13 years old, Sayyidi Ala Hazrat wrote the answer to this question and he presented it in the form of a written verdict, in the form of a fatwa. Now, after completing this written fatwa, bear in mind, Sayyidi Ala Hazrat was just 13 years old and he had just completed his studies. He presented the fatwa to his father. His father, who was an expert in fiqh, Maulana Naqi Ali Khan, rahmatullahi ta'ala alayh, then went and checked that fatwa. He checked the fatwa and he found that there was no mistakes in his fatwa. Therefore, he granted him the permission to continue writing fatwas and giving the answer to questions. What a great role model Sayyidi Ala Hazrat is for us. Now, when we look into the youth of Sayyidi Ala Hazrat, we are presented with many Madani pearls. Just at 4.5 years old, he had completed his recitation of the Quran Pak. That shows that the love and devotion towards the Quran Pak that Sayyidi Ala Hazrat possessed was amazing. May Allah Azza wa Jal give us some of that same love to recite the Holy Quran Pak, so that we may continuously recite it. Even at the age of just 6 years old, Sayyidi Ala Hazrat was amazing in his beginning studies. When he was 13 years old, Sayyidi Ala Hazrat had immense love and respect for the science of fiqh, the science of jurisprudence and law pertaining to the deen of Islam. May Allah Azza wa Jal also give us the tawfiq to study fiqh in that manner also. Now, when we look into the biography of Sayyidi Ala Hazrat, we may find that he was an expert in the Quran Pak. We may find that he was an expert in the Hadith Mubarakah. We may find that he was an expert in fiqh. We may find that he was an expert in usul fiqh. We may find that he was an expert in mantiq. Now, Sayyidi Ala Hazrat, he was also an expert in the science of mathematics, and he was also an expert in the science of horology. Now, horology is a science that deals with time. It deals with the position of the sun, and it also deals with the position of the moon. Now, when Sayyidi Ala Hazrat would look into the sky, his vast knowledge and expertise in the science of horology was so amazing that he could just look into the sky, take a glimpse, and know the exact time. Sayyidi Ala Hazrat would look into the sky and he would look at his watch, then he would set his watch in accordance to the exact time of day that it was, regardless of it whether being daytime or regardless of whether it being nighttime. Now, when the people would compare the time of Sayyidi Ala Hazrat, they would find no mistakes, and that Sayyidi Ala Hazrat's timing would be correct to the exact minute. Now, Sayyidi Ala Hazrat was not just an expert in the science of horology, but he was also an expert in the science of mathematics. Once there was a doctor from the University of Aligarh. The doctor's name is Ziauddin. Now this doctor, he was no ordinary doctor. He was a very intelligent doctor, and he possessed many foreign academic awards and degrees. He was a doctor who had studied to different countries. He had studied under many different professors, and he had attained great degrees and he had attained great rewards. Now this doctor, he had come across a mathematical equation in which he could not solve it. He could not answer the mathematical equation, whereas he needed the answer. And now somebody had told this doctor about Sayyidi Ala Hazrat, and that Sayyidi Ala Hazrat was an expert in the science of mathematics. Now, when this doctor found out about Sayyidi Ala Hazrat, he decided to travel towards Bareilly to meet Sayyidi Ala Hazrat. When he met Sayyidi Ala Hazrat, he said, "Oh Sayyidi, I have a question regarding the science of mathematics. I have come across an equation, but I cannot find the solution to this problem. Perhaps you could guide me and give me a solution to my problem." And now Sayyidi Ala Hazrat heard the doctor, and he said to the doctor, "Present your problem to me, and inshallah I will try and find a solution for you." So the doctor was happy upon hearing this. So he asked Sayyidi Ala Hazrat regarding his problem, and instantaneously, to the shock of Dr. Ziauddin, Sayyidi Ala Hazrat found a solution to his problem and he gave him the answer. The doctor was shocked and he said, "Ya Sayyidi, before somebody had told me about you, I had made preparations to travel to Germany." Now, my dear viewers of Madani Channel, bear in mind this was in the year 1800s. Nowadays, we have planes that can take us from one side of the world to the other side of the world with no difficulty in a matter of a few hours. But however, in the 1800s, the mode of transportation was a lot more difficult. It was a lot more hard to travel. However, this doctor, he was so engrossed in mathematics that he told Sayyidi Ala Hazrat that he was prepared and he had already made preparations to travel to Germany. So after Sayyidi Ala Hazrat had told him the answer, the doctor was so impressed with Sayyidi Ala Hazrat that when he went back to his hometown, he adopted the ways of Sayyidi Ala Hazrat, meaning he grew a beard to follow the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he also became steadfast in his 5 times daily prayer, and he never missed a fast in the day of Ramadan. MashaAllah, we learn from this that people come in the company of Sayyidi Ala Hazrat and they go away adopting his mindset and adopting the rulings and the teachings that he teaches just through his blessed character. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Now we have looked at the amazing skills that Sayyidi Ala Hazrat possessed. They was not just restricted to Islamic studies. However, there was also in the science of mathematics and horology. One other important thing that we learned when we studied the biography of Sayyidi Ala Hazrat is Sayyidi Ala Hazrat's amazing memory. Now, when Sayyidi Ala Hazrat was working in the Darul Ifta, meaning the Darul Ifta is a place in which many people usually in them days would send letters. They would send letters regarding various queries regarding Islam. And upon the arrival of the letters, the scholars would open the letters, they would look at the questions, then they would find a solution and they would find an answer, then they would write it back down and send it back to the sender. Now, what happened once was somebody had sent a letter in. The scholars had opened the letter and they had read the question, but they felt as though that nobody had ever asked this question before. They felt as though that this was a new question that had not been asked, and they had been trying to find a solution. However, they was not successful in finding the solution. Now the scholars of the Darul Ifta became worried. So when they became worried, one of them suggested that they approach Sayyidi Ala Hazrat to ask him for some help regarding this query. Upon approaching Sayyidi Ala Hazrat, they said to him, Ya Sayyidi, we have received this letter and we feel as though that it is very difficult to find a solution for a question that has not been asked before. Sayyidi Ala Hazrat took a look at the letter and almost instantaneously he said to the scholar that this question has indeed been asked before. He said to the scholar that go to such and such book, in such and such volume, in such and such chapter, on such and such page, and you will find the answer to this query. The scholars were shocked. They had just presented that question to Sayyidi Ala Hazrat. They had taken so long to look for the answer. They had been questioning each other in regards to this question, but they could not find a solution. However, the moment that they brought it to Sayyidi Ala Hazrat, he presented the answer straight away. He did not only present the answer, he told them which book it was in, he told them the volume to look into, he told them the chapter, and he told them the specific page number to also look into. So then when the scholars went back, they opened the book, they opened that specific volume, they opened the specific chapter, and they opened the specific page. And when they checked, they found that Sayyidi Ala Hazrat was correct to the exact page. Subhanallah. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Now, it is also written in the biography of Sayyidi Ala Hazrat. Whilst at the home of Mufti Burhan al-Haq, Sayyidi Ala Hazrat said to Mufti Burhan al-Haq, "O Mufti Saab, I require 2 pairs of earrings which I will present to my daughters." He went to the marketplace and he went to a specific shop and he had purchased 2 beautiful pairs of earrings, and he came to Sayyidi Ala Hazrat. He said to Sayyidi Ala Hazrat, "Ya Sayyidi, here are the 2 pairs of earrings." Ala Hazrat, with his own blessed hands, he took the earrings out of the box and he placed them on the 2 blessed daughters of Mufti Burhan al-Haq. Mufti Burhan al-Haq's 2 little daughters were also present in this meeting, and he placed the earrings on the ears of the blessed daughters of Mufti Burhan al-Haq. Then Sayyidi Ala Hazrat inquired about the price of these earrings. Mufti Burhan al-Haq said, "You don't need to worry about the price." Meaning, in other words, that don't worry about it. It is a gift from myself to you. Then, after some time had passed, Mufti Burhan al-Haq moved forward in order to try and take the earrings out of the ears of his daughters. However, Sayyidi Ala Hazrat intervened and he said, "No, leave the earrings in the ears." Mufti Sahib was shocked. He said, "Ya Sayyidi, you said to me that you needed these 2 pairs of earrings for your daughters." Sayyidi Ala Hazrat said, "These 2 daughters of yours are also like my daughters. So leave the earrings in their ears." Then Ala Hazrat then also gave Mufti Sahib the money for the earrings and let his daughters keep those earrings. Subhanallah. From this story, we come to realize that Sayyidi Ala Hazrat was a very generous person. May Allah Azza wa Jal give us the love that Sayyidi Ala Hazrat had for the other Muslim brothers, and also give us that love and instill that love to the whole Muslim Ummah in our hearts. May Allah Azza wa Jal have mercy on Sayyidi Ala Hazrat and grant us forgiveness without accountability for his sake. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
The blessed personalities, the blessed personalities, the blessed personalities, the blessed personalities.